Yeah, so let me do a brief preview of the NFL draft, especially with the Eagles since that's my team and all. Tell you the truth, I'm not one of these hardcore people that follow the draft and stuff. Really, to be honest, and it might piss some people off, but I really don't care. I primarily see the draft as a waste of time due to the fact that most of the players that are picked, well, not most, but half of the players that are hyped up and whatnot by Mel Kiper and stuff is, mostly bust players and really don't do shit in the league. That's why mostly I don't follow college football anymore, because due to the fact like players like Matt Leinart, I thought this was going to be a good to great player. When he went to the pros, he didn't accomplish shit in the NFL except for to be a backup quarterback. So anyway, to the draft, especially on the Eagles side, Fletcher Cox, I would say this was a good pickup. But I really wanted us to get that linebacker that the Panthers picked. But this is good for me. We did get a linebacker in the second round, but basically he is, in my opinion, kind of in the same mold of Brian Rolle, or outside linebacker. He is a little bit taller, this guy we picked up in the second round. But, he is kind of that Brian Rolle similar type, but maybe a little bit more physical and maybe more speed, of course. Of course, he going to play outside linebacker because he is only 5'11". And we do have D'Amico Ryans, I believe, that middle linebacker that we got from the Texans. So yeah, we did get a cornerback. I would say that this draft was okay for the Eagles, but of course all this going to really going to see how it is like 5 years down the road and stuff, because really like people giving grades already on people that so-called drafted well is kind of silly in my opinion. I did like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pickup. They did get that safety that I wanted us to get from the Honey Badger. I forget his name, but yeah, I really want us to get a safety or a linebacker in the first round. But I'm okay with his defensive tackle that we got. But yeah, I really did like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pickups that they have. But of course, all these so-called A+ grades for these teams and stuff really don't mean nothing until 5 years down the road and you actually see, what kind of progress the players have made. Mostly the draft, in my opinion, is just hype and potential and stuff. But yeah, mostly, like I just repeated like 7 times in this video already, the draft is mostly potential and hype, and you really don't know what you're gonna get until 5 years down the road. Then you could actually truly give these draft picks grades and whatnot. Okay, to the Flyers, I have to say that the Flyers beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Um, I recently had this horrible cold and stuff, and it just took me out and making videos for the Flyers, and the snot actually came out of my eye and stuff. That was crazy, but anyway, on a positive note, it's almost gone, and also I'll pull my muscle too by working out too much. I lift too many pounds of shit, so I'll pull uh, my left arm muscle doing curls and shit. So yeah, that's almost gone and stuff. But yeah, to the Flyers, I have to say that we could win this series, but of course, New Jersey is one of our hated rivals. I have to say that the Pittsburgh Penguins back in the day, when they had Lemieux, Mario Lemieux, and Yager, they was a rival, but they wasn't really a main rival of ours, especially when I was growing up as a kid. So yeah, I have to say that Pittsburgh, this generation of Pittsburgh Penguins, yeah, they are a rival and asshole. Same thing with the Bruins, like back in the days, back in the '90s when I was a little kid and stuff, where I grew when I grew up and stuff, '90s, early 2000s and stuff. The Bruins and Pittsburgh Penguins really wasn't a rival. They were just like, one of these teams that, that was just in our conference and we had a little hatred for, but nothing big like that. Our main rivals, I have to say, when I was grew up as a kid in the '90s, was mainly the Devils and the Rangers, and that was basically it. The New York Islanders, no, they really did nothing. Capitals, no, they really did nothing for me. But yeah, that was mainly our rivals when the people of my generation were growing up. But yeah, these new generation of Flyers fans, they have more hatred towards Boston and Pittsburgh than I ever seen before, and rightfully so. So yeah, to the New Jersey Devils, they beat the Florida Panthers. I have to say that, tell you the truth, that game shouldn't even went 7 series because Florida was like one of the weakest third seed playoff teams that I ever seen in the NHL. They really didn't have they basically had one shift line. They really didn't have nothing else. Their goaltender was okay. It wasn't nothing spectacular about the Florida Panthers. And I still am one of these people that really don't understand why we have two teams in Florida. I would gladly contract one of them, but that's another video for another time. But to the New Jersey Devils, congrats to the New Jersey Devils for being them. But yeah, for the Flyers, like I really do see us having trouble with the Devils. I'm not even gonna lie to you, and the Devils do worry me, mainly because of Brodeur and the past playoffs runs he had, and what kind of goaltender he is. Barry Brodeur is one hell of a goaltender. I have to say he's a top 5 goaltender all time. But is he the best goaltender all time? Well, in the playoffs, he had the most shutouts over Patrick Waugh. But I would say, in my opinion, Patrick Waugh is the best goaltender, in my opinion, of my generation. I'm talking about 90s till now. I'm not an 80s kid or nothing. I'm a 90s kid. But yeah, I have to say that Marty Brodeur, he is one hell of a goaltender. New Jersey, they do scare me, but they really don't scare me like Pittsburgh did. Pittsburgh, maybe it's due to the media and everybody kissing Sidney Crosby ass and shit of that nature. But yeah, but New Jersey scared me a little bit just because they are one of our rivals and they do give us a hard time and stuff. But we did handle them in the season. So yeah, they really don't scare me, but they kind of scare me on a scale. I would say they give me a 6 out of 10 kind of scare. Average to a little above average scare. Unlike the Pittsburgh Penguins, they really scared the hell out of me and stuff. But yeah. But on a side note, here in Philadelphia, they talked on the radio. Mike Missinelli, a famous broadcaster of sports here in Philadelphia on 950 the Fan and stuff. That's a sports radio talk station here in Philadelphia. But yeah, he basically said that if you was a real Flyers fan, you want to face the New York Rangers over the Senators before the Senators actually won their series and stuff, and the Rangers was a threat to get eliminated. In my opinion, no, I really don't care for being the best teams possible. If you get my drift, per se, he brought up this example, like when the Eagles won their, I mean not Eagles, sorry, when the Phillies won their World Series back in 2008, and people, well not people, but outsiders complaining that we beat the Rays, we didn't beat nobody like the Yankees or the Red Sox and stuff. You beat who you beat, basically. Like a championship is basically a championship. Do you see the Yankees crying or saying, oh, well, such and such team wasn't that good that year. Well, we don't deserve the World Series. No, you beat who you beat. So I'm looking for the easier way to get a Stanley Cup. All right.